All right. The Oscars happened yesterday, Sunday, March 2nd. Today is Monday, March 3rd, and we are going to talk about the Oscars. We're going to break everything down. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Oscars, the nominees, all of that.
I did. I'll say I watched the Oscars, meaning like I went through and refreshed YouTube and watched just the clips of basically the announcement of the winner and the award speech, which doesn't go any longer than maybe 3 minutes. And then like there's the Conan O'Brien opening monologue. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande did kind of like a medley of a few songs, which was probably one of my favorite clips from the Oscars because they're both amazing performers, like massive talent. There's a few funny moments with Conan O'Brien in his monologue, and those are kind of my like. I like music, and I like some comedies, some monologues, and then I'm just curious on like the movies I've seen. And it's interesting. I feel like Oscars now over the last 10 years, those who have been the movies or talent that have been nominated are either not as well known or, as far as the pictures go, they're kind of scraping at like B and C level movies as far as like the studios that come from or the storytelling. I just like there's so many awards that were given that I feel like are far from deserving. And then the subject material is like, if the Oscars is meant to be for, I'll say like general audiences, the general movie going public, you have a list of movies that like Amelia Perez is about a trans woman, a cartel drug leader, who's trying to have like reconciliation with their past and making them be the hero, which is how do you come back from a cartel past? Or Honora is about a sex worker who gets married to a Russian dude. Or there's body horror with Demi Moore in The Substance, I think it's called. And so there's a long list. The Brutalist looks interesting, right? It looks beautifully shot, but also I think some of the things I've read up on that even kind of shines a negative light on like America, the United States, or there's anti-Semitism with some of the subject material. And so I just feel like for these movies to have a spotlight put on them, I just feel like it's not done on meritocracy anymore. And it's done for like just strictly campaign focus. But hey, I'm kind of on a soapbox right now. So do you guys want to add anything to it and I'll follow up?
I can think of, like, I don't watch awards shows often. I just usually see the highlights here and there. If someone says something funny or someone slaps somebody or something like that. Like for me, it's not, I'm not that entertained by it. I know my wife had it on for a couple minutes and I was like, let's just watch something else. Like I'm sick of watching the red carpet, all this jazz. But I think the reason why is because when I would watch it growing up, it really isn't as much of like letting the creativity either shine through or even like the audience choice, right? There's obviously like the People's Choice Awards and they have these other award shows, but what most people would like, the fact that Dune only won one thing, Dune Part 2, or like there's the things that are nominated just are not typical cinema or what people are actually going to watch. It's a very particular type of people that are very into that, and probably just Orange County, California. They're just really into
and how do you
style.
define like best picture? Like what is that criteria? Or like best cinematography. You talk to every creative out there and their like opinion on cinematography varies so greatly. And so I just feel like hey, I don't take the Oscars as like the law of the land as far as like this is the best and you can't have any other opinion. But I just think it's like to have awards given to like the best versions, the best talent. I would say some are definitely deserving, but like, I mean, Cynthia Erivo should have hands down won Best Actress, in my opinion. She crushed it in Wicked. But
yeah. Did Wicked even win anything? Let me look at that again.
They won like production design. I know that.
They also won Best Costuming.
Oh, yeah. And well, I mean, have you guys seen Wicked?
Who hasn't?
Yeah. Yes.
Of course. Yeah. Those are both well deserving. But yeah, like Dune did win visual effects and best sound, which totally well deserving. I think I think what I've seen of the visual effects of Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom, I think of the Apes, Planet of the Apes, pretty mind blowing. Some of the best visual effects ever done. Like you have fake monkeys interacting with humans in water, and you've got fur and water simulation that's like 100% fake. And you're looking at it and you don't realize you're not looking at a real monkey who can talk. Like how weird is that we're and like the light's not shot like people are putting best picture to a drama movie that has a subpar story and not on like some of the most amazing like technical achievements ever in the history of movie making. So, oh man, got me going. I'm a movie buff. I like my movies. So, but yeah, Kate, what do you think?
I'm curious. I wish that there was like a popular vote for all of these movies.
Like American Idol style.
Yes. Or like, I don't know. I think the Academy can just seem so, at least to me, just like so elusive and like who is even a part of it? What are their intentions? What are they driven by? And so I do wish that there was like more people involvement or just like the general public, because that at the end of the day, those are the people that are driving ticket sales and like what we matter really is.
Ooh, that's good.
They wouldn't have jobs without us. And so I wish that there was something like that in place, or maybe it will come.
It would make sense that you would have your end user be involved in the decision of what's the best. Obviously, ticket sales win. You even look at like IMDb, like the best picture of Dune versus The Brutalist for best cinematography. It's like Dune is like 8.5, Brutalist is like 7.6. Like it doesn't. It's just arbitrary numbers. Like who can sell tickets? That's what's most important when it comes back to it. But yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to vote. I'd be down for that.
I wonder, Dallin, maybe you can answer this question, but I know when I was going through the nominees for the Oscars, there were so many movies that I had never heard of. And I wonder if maybe is part of the allure to have like the Academy pick the winners. Does it just, I don't know, does it help shine a spotlight on some of the movies that don't have like big production companies behind them? Because I don't know, if it was up to a popular vote, probably something like Wicked would win over a smaller movie that wasn't shown in like nationwide in theaters.
Yeah. I would say there's examples of both. Like I think of last year, I think I know Kate, at least, Kate, you like Barbie, maybe Brandon, Justine, you guys like Barbie. I think there was fun aspects of Barbie overall, though I didn't like it. And I think it set off on the right track, but then it just kind of like, I don't know. I just don't like how it all ended up. I think they could have done something different with it, but the visuals, production, and all that stuff. And it was like it was one of the most profitable, if not the most profitable of the year, the movie. And so you got a blockbuster, like profitable movie that also won awards. And so like, there's examples of that. I think the popularity side playing into it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't have a clear answer, Kate. Like, I think Anora maybe had like a $6 million budget, which is wicked, like not wicked, like very slim, not to confuse with Wicked. It's a very slim budget, but it's not, there's like no visual effects. It's all just drama based. And so it can be very cheaply made in that way. So I think it's more of a campaigning. Like I've seen other things, especially in recent years, where the Oscars is all about like who can campaign the best, who has the best PR team behind the individual movies. And you've even seen ads or trailers where it says for your consideration, which implies there's a voting behind it. But at the same time, there's not really. There's maybe like a closed room voting, of a select group of people. And so there's a whole campaign around like really who wins, and what that win would mean for the industry or for other like selfishly driven motives. And what those are, I don't know exactly, but yeah, I just, I think people are trying to get more artsy with their selections. And I just like, yeah. And like, let's see, have they added stunt performing yet to the Oscars? Cause I mean, that was a whole kind of side campaign. You guys probably saw I'm totally spaced on the name. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Fall Guy. I've seen that movie tons of times. I love it. It's so much fun, and the whole campaign it basically told the story of the unsung heroes of movie making and the stunts. And so like I don't mean like who knows if that will ever happen, but it's crazy to me. You got makeup on there. You have all these other crew driven feats that go behind movie making, and stunts are not considered. So
that's an interesting one to consider. I have a buddy who's a stuntman. That it's crazy to see the stuff that he does. He used to be a Cosmo at BYU, one of the Cougars, and his side thing is getting blown up in random shows and like throwing off walls and like jumping through stuff and being a double. It's just crazy. But I don't know. It just feels a little elitist, to be honest. The whole structure of it, rather than just trying to make the best content.
The golden idol.
Exactly. It's literally a golden idol.
So as far as how this applies to marketing, like I think let's obviously at the end of the day, like, we're marketers, we're creatives. How would you say, excuse me, this event of the Oscars has applications to companies and how they can consider in implementing strategies or ideas behind the Oscars into their own business building and marketing efforts?
How does this have an application for marketing? And I'll dive in for my thoughts when it comes to like, how does something that's like tabloids and TV, I look at like the brand pieces. How is everybody's personal brand reacting to this moment where they're in the spotlight and they have a lot of eyeballs doing what they do? And so you have the carpet events where people are outlandish, or they say something dumb, or they wear something revealing to kind of have that shock value to build their brand, to build who they are. They wear something stylish, or they do something where they're trying to start a fight and get the clout and the ideas on them. So I think there's an element of networking that these people are doing for their own industry that is valuable for a smaller business or a mid-sized business to go to things. But anytime there's eyeballs on something, and a lot of them, trying to leverage a way where you can stand out in an interesting way. Attention is big. So this is an opportunity where, like, if you're, probably cologne brands or like some of these things that are kind of more universal for a general audience, would be wise to, advertise there. So that's kind of my thought. In a marketing sense, would be leverage the eyeballs.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a big, a way to tie this into marketing too is just the social media aspect of it. And like, as soon as the Oscar goes on, like, even if you aren't watching the Oscars, like on TV, chances are you're like looking on social media or looking at YouTube to find like the shorts or whatever from the Oscars itself. And I think that's something that's like important to know. Cause like, I know that like whenever I usually don't watch award shows. Like I just like look on Twitter and I'm like, oh, what's going on? I look at like the trending topics and everything. And I feel like that's what most people do, because these award shows are so long. I mean, they're like 3-4 hours long. Not a lot of people have like 4 hours of their day to just like sit on their couch and watch an award show. I mean, maybe on Sunday nights if you're like relaxing or whatever, you have time, but not a lot of people want to do that. So I think just like having those like screen and like viral worthy moments like happen on stage. Like I think it was 2 years ago, was it Will Smith that like punched someone on stage? I can't remember who it was.
The slap that was heard around the world.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, that was like 2-3 years ago, and we still talk about it. It's still like trends on like YouTube and like other social media platforms. So I think social media has a big impact on these award shows as well.
Yeah. I think always the 2 days following the Oscars, or really any award show, are like prime for any brand really to hop on the meme bandwagon and post things that are Oscar related but tie in their brand somehow. I always think those are super fun, and people are always resharing and loving that sort of stuff. I would say like the 2-3 days after the Oscars. So
well, and what you have behind it is a whole room of influencers in a way, right? They all have big social media followings in some form, and from a marketing perspective, it's a culmination of the planning, to the execution, the production, to the after the event experiences, live streaming, all the different repurposing power. But you have all these influencers of sorts, this talent in one room. And so, as far as how it applies to a business, you can host and do your own, not necessarily award events, but your own live events, your own virtual events, incorporate influencers relevant to your industry. Even if they have like a mini following or maybe a mega following, and there's that opportunity to do a press tour and build up a campaign and build up to that live event experience, and then put effort behind how you're streaming it across the channels, create hashtags that connect directly to the name of your event, make it unique and very shareable as far as the topics relevant to your industry, and then have a strategy for a post event where you can have tons of social media power, like you guys were mentioning, to repost memeable opportunities. Maybe you stage a slap. Who knows? Maybe that slap. It could have been staged. It could have been part of the act. But yeah, no, I think there's a whole idea of like the event experience. There's plenty of business marketing events out there, but something that's very niche, and it doesn't have to break the bank, especially with all of the streaming tools there are out there. But tap into influencers and get them all in a virtual or in-person room and have them promote ideas related to your industry and business, a way to get attention to what you're doing. And so I think it's understanding like what are all those contributing pieces and what can you do to serve your industry in that way. Hey, it was fun to see the highlights for me. I think it's something even for us to consider, like what can we do to learn from and apply some of these strategies to our own marketing efforts to get more attention to, of course, what we do selfishly, but also shine the light on all of our clients and partners and our audience as well. So, hey, let us know what you think around the Oscars in the comments below. You guys have anything else to add, though?
No, just I think live events, there's a reason why they're getting more and more traction. It adds some stakes to it. People love it. They love to watch something live happen. So it's not going anywhere. The more you can incorporate it in your business niche, it's gonna make sense.
All right. Well, yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments, and we will talk to you next time.